you're just joining us, please, can you share? We're not going to have spend much time because I desire to make it short so that we give room for the Secretary of State for Communications, who will be coming on immediately after me on SCBC, so that he can make his speech on the fundraising that we are. He can make his answer questions from the public. Sorry, I was at the mix-up right there. So please, can you share for me? I see a number of people already watching. Just go ahead and share. Invite your friends. Trying to do the same here. Yeah. What? Where's your Facebook? I need to share it on my page. I'm having problems with my internet. Yeah, Mulawunja, you're welcome watching Victoria Boy Opopo. Thank you for making it. So for those of you who are not following me on my page, you have problems connecting because I'm not able to share it right now on my timeline. So just give me a moment. I hope this thing stops acting up. Just wait. Okay. Okay, I'm right there now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to share it on my page. On my timeline. But I will get there. Just a moment. You are all welcome to today's broadcast, which I intend to be short. Today is 1 year anniversary, a couple of days ago actually, 1 year anniversary of Common Sense Live show. So I need some love on the screen. We have done our job diligently. We've tried to be consistent. We tried to define ourselves as defenders of the revolution. And I want to thank you for being there. All our videos have been still online. You can start from anywhere and watch. You see our consistency. You will see our message. So thank you for the support. Thank you for the encouragement. Many times I did receive your contributions and your comments. And that all this made the program grow from strength to strength. And I want to thank you for being there for us, for being part of this movement, which we christened Occupy Southern Cameroon Movement. We know that name came about because the very first video was after the failed strike, a public demonstration that was called up by the consortium. We saw how the people were beaten up, tortured, and massacred. And I came up and I said we should stop these demonstrations. And people, some people reacted negatively. They said it means I want the struggle to die. And I said no, we should rather go for ghost town operations, and that was adopted. So and I said, instead of going out to march every day and they kill us, let us go for ghost town operations and occupy the embassies, which we could do in the diaspora without the same consequences that people suffer back home. And so the Occupy Southern Cameroon movement was actually Occupy Occupy Western embassies. That's the pitch we wanted to bring into the struggle. And then thereafter, the marches started all over the diaspora, to embassies, to Cameroon embassies, French embassies, and so on. So that's how far we've gone. And we intend to keep this program to be a means of educating the struggle and defending our values. So I welcome you again, and I want to encourage you to share this and invite your friends to join us. I want to address a very important issue regarding our struggle. There is a conference that is being organized by some brethren, by some brothers and sisters, by some leaders, people I have much regard for at a personal level. This conference is supposed to take place in January. I don't intend to make any publicity for that conference, but I want to examine some things. This conference is organized by the SCYL, AGC, Maurice, and ROA, Republic of Ambazonia, and probably some other individuals who are not identified by these groups. And it's supposed to take place in DC, and they have christened that conference the Reboot Conference. Reboot. Okay. So I have problems with the conference, not because the conference is not, there's not supposed to be a conference, there's supposed to be a conference, but let us examine some things that are true about this conference and make our judgment. That's what I intend to do right now, but unfortunately my internet is not allowing me to do certain things now. So I'm trying to pick up something so I can play it out for you, because all right, we all know some of these things, so I will ask for you, if you have it, that you put it on the, you put it as a comment. Just get it wherever it is and put it there, so that those who watch this video should be able to refresh their minds from where I'm coming, to know where I'm coming from. The stated objective of a reboot, now, because a reboot actually means you are restarting, or completely turning off in order to, to turn on again and start afresh. It actually means to start afresh. So the concept of reboot, the question arises: reboot what? What is the reboot of, when the Southern Cameroonians should come together, especially leaders, and to reboot? What are they rebooting? Because the objectives are not clearly spelled out, but from snippets of the declarations and some publications and letters which I've been able to read, I can deduce that it is a reboot probably of the common platform, which yesterday was SCACUF, today it is the interim government. Probably it is a reboot of our revolution. That means our revolution needs an overhaul. It needs some kind of a restart, because we are not going in the right direction, or we are not what we supposed to be, or what. So that's a reboot. This, we are talking about a reboot conference after the fourth conclave. So if this is serious, then it presupposes that the outcome of the fourth conclave is unacceptable. It presupposes that the outcome of the fourth conclave is unacceptable. And what was the outcome of the fourth conclave? It was the election of Mr. Sesnse Ayok Tabe as the president of the interim government. What was the outcome? What was the outcome of the fourth conclave? It was the formation of the interim government in replacement of the SCACUF as an organization, which was not very representative of all. And the hope was that the government would be able to bring in more people, and we have a common platform to carry the struggle forward. So a reboot presupposes that these results are unacceptable, should be rejected, and we should do it again. That's the reboot. Now, The question is, if the supposition is that the interim government should be dissolved, now the question is, why should it be dissolved? What are the reasons? Why should it be dissolved? If it should be reconstituted, how should it be reconstituted? How should it be reconstituted? How can it be reconstituted to accommodate people who consider others as Johnny just come, as not very qualified, as not deserving of leadership? How can it be reconstituted to include people who say, if you want this thing not to fail, follow us behind. If you cannot follow us, then this thing will be destroyed. And if that is how you want this movement to end, so shall it be. How do you reconstitute a common platform to include everybody without precondition? When we are looking from a distance, we wish that some things were happening otherwise. But when you sit on the driver's steering, these are the questions you have to answer. These are tough questions you have to answer. Practically, they are not imaginations. How can you constitute a group with everybody, including people who think that they have a sense of entitlement and others don't? How do you forge that unity? How? Because the book says two cannot work together except they agree. So that means that if there's no agreement, how can you forge a common platform? So, till the world ends, unanimity will be a utopia. Unanimity, the word unanimity, will always remain a utopia because it's unattainable. Unanimity is never attainable. But somehow you attain to a certain percentage that you will say the generality or the majority. Democracy is not the rule of everybody. It's the rule of the majority. I just brought that in. I know I'm not talking about a democracy here, but these are things that we all agree on. There is no movement, there is no revolution that will include everybody. There's no revolution, there's no movement, no one. Even the ANC did not include everybody. Why? Because even though they agreed on one objective, there were certain things they will not agree on, and that made it impossible to belong to a common platform. We should not be disappointed because that's just the truth. Of course, because they were united by their objective. When they finally got their freedom, they are all enjoying the same nation. In a revolution, the litmus test for capable leadership is results. The litmus test for capable leadership is results, positive results. That's what makes a person emerge in leadership. Results. And these results more than experience, more than the ability to talk and ability to do this and that. Some people think that, like us, when we can criticize very well, you be a good leader. No, it's results. You can be experienced, you can be educated, you can be whatever. That is not what is needed in a revolution. Even a 17-year-old child can lead a revolution if he has results. It just emerges. That's it. That's what it is. So in a revolution, it is results. So let's go back now and make an evaluation of the common platform that started with Skakuf. It was not perfect. It was not good. I came out early enough to say this is not yet what it's supposed to be, but it's a step in the right direction. That's what I said. Because I know a step in the right direction. When somebody is going to the right direction, I will not discourage that person. But I will encourage him. I will tell him everything he will meet on the way. I will advise him because I know he is bound to succeed. So I cannot tell him no because you are not properly dressed. Stop. I will do everything, try to, because I know he's going to the right direction. Therefore, success is near. So I said the common platform was a good idea. It was not representative enough. But I saw that we can build on it instead of destroying it. That was my position. Everybody who has been listening to me can testify. I stood by it. People said, no, let's chop it down because of this, because of that, because of that. People are not there. It has cut off a lot of people, and so it's not representative. Look at it. I said no because I knew that the essential thing is that we needed a common platform, and that's the right direction. So it needed to be encouraged so that it can be rebuilt in successful conclaves, and by working together with others, we will get there. So I saw that that was the right direction. And so, yeah, I can see. Well, you said it. So that's what it was. So now, when we saw that, the idea was not just to have a group of groups, a superstructure, I said, no, our ultimate aim, and all the activists on the line, we wanted an authority, a real authority, which is government, a government. Like the Palestinians had a Palestinian authority and so on, they are a government. So that became the focus of the fourth conclave. And it was supposed to be all-inclusive. That means it drew a larger number of participants from within organizations that were there and others that were not members of Skakuf. So, well, the things happened the way they happened, and if anything came out of that conference, it is that Skakuf was transformed and enlarged to form the government, the interim government. Again, a right step in the right direction. A right step in the right direction. Like every other one that was formed before, it was not perfect. But I knew that it was the right step in the right direction. So the president was unanimously elected by the conclave to lead that interim government. Again, the right step in the right direction. He went ahead and formed the government, the few cabinets that we could start with, per the decision of that conclave, and brought in those who were, he called, the willing, the coalition of the willing. Because I remember that some people at that particular time came up with audios and videos and writings, refusing to belong. In fact, refusing the overture of coming together, working together with this common platform, because in their minds it was wrong to have chosen either the Mr. Seseko Ayoktabe as the president, or forming that government in the first place. So that was the underlying reason. And then they will not agree to work together. So they will not agree to work together. So, but the formation, but now, let me ask you something. If all this we are organizing, everything we are organizing in the diaspora that we are doing, all the movement, all the marching, all the demonstrations, all the funding, all the groups we are creating is for what? Is it for us in the diaspora or it is for ground zero? It is meant for certain objectives to be achieved. And those objectives are found on ground zero. So whatever we are doing it for ground zero. That's what I think. If we are organizing a conference, the aims are to be achieved on ground zero. If we are gathering, we are forming a government, the aims are for the benefit of ground zero. If we are making a donation, the aim is for the benefit of ground zero. If we are supposed to criticize anything, it should be that its impact on ground zero is negative. No matter what good thing we try to do in the diaspora, if its impact on ground zero is negative, that good thing should be stopped. That's the way I look at it. That good thing which you are trying to do in the diaspora, whose impact on ground zero will be negative, is a bad thing. That is my own reasoning. If the interim government was formed the way it was formed, and we are not happy that it was not representative enough, or whatever, now, how do we make it better? Is it by dismantling it? Now, if we dismantle it, what is the effect on ground zero? What will be the effect on ground zero? If we replace it with you, who wants that change, or the other person who wants that change, what will be, how will that make our struggle on ground zero more successful? Hello? If they reboot people succeeded, reboot anything, that means that they are able to turn off everything that we have now and completely put it aside, and they bring their own platform of superheroes, people who are more deserving and who know exactly how to get us to Boh. How will that affect how would that make our effort on ground zero more successful? How would that increase enthusiasm? How would that bring more obedience than we have now? How would that bring us better results than we have now? So that's the question we must answer. Anything that we do in the diaspora, we should be able to show that by so doing, we will get better results from ground zero. That's it. But I can show you a lot that these people who are pushing the borders, who want to have this conference in January, the further you go with your agenda, the weaker the struggle shall be on ground zero. The further you push the borders and push ahead your agenda, the weaker the struggle. You say you want to strengthen the struggle? No. The struggle will be weaker. But if your heart is after the general good of the people on ground zero, you will rather work for cooperation, positive cooperation, not by talk of mouth. Listen, how did we get here? When the consortium started in 2016, was created, all of us fell behind the consortium as one man. Does it mean that the consortium was made up of the most qualified people? To my own knowledge, I can remember they were even unknown. Nobody knew much about Mancho. Nobody knew about Agbombala. Nobody knew about Tassan Wilfred. Nobody knew about these people. They were unknown. In fact, they were literally unknown, except in their little communities or professional environment. But all of us in the diaspora, I can remember that ROH sent a letter to them. ROA, I'm sorry, Republic of Ambazonians sent a letter, and Republic of AGC sent a letter endorsing the consortium. Maurice, when it was formed, sent a letter giving their support to the consortium. Everybody gave their support to the consortium. Now, were those people like, did they fall from heaven? Were they so qualified? Why did we do that? Why did we do that? Why did we think about the years we have been in the struggle and the qualifications we have, the scars we have borne in the struggle, and how we can do this and we can do this? Why did we think about that? Why did we suddenly support them, give them all the support, and tell them we are behind you guys? You are the only organization that can talk on behalf of the Southern Cameroonians. Now, why did we do that? Why didn't we see that they were very young, immature, unknown in the struggle, not very experienced, not capable, not to be trusted with such leadership? Why didn't we talk about that? You know, because at that moment we saw the greater good of advancing in our demands as outweighing what any other consideration. That is why that unity was possible. That's why that unity was possible. Even when the struggle came out from ground zero and was sent to the diaspora, they gave it to some young men to lead, and everybody fell behind them until things were messed up. Why was it that everybody was ready to go under and let this thing work? It was not because they were well qualified. It was because we put certain self-interest behind. We put our organizational interest behind, and we saw the greater good for everybody, being our success to get to Boya. That is what caused that unity possible. And in those days, nobody wanted to show us his accolades and all his all the past governments, because there have been many governments. We have had many presidents. None of them came out to say, hey, if Bia is looking for somebody, tell them that I was president in 1995. I was also, another government was formed in this. None of those past governments came up and said, we are interested to be the leaders, not the constituent. They endorse them. That's the truth. So what has happened now? The consortium was not better than Skakuf. We stood behind them. The IG, the consortium was not better than the IG, the interim government. Why suddenly can we not stand behind the government? You will tell me that I should not interpret things. I should just forget about it. Okay, tell me, why suddenly should some clique of people think that the interim government is not good enough, but the consortium was good enough? What has changed? What has changed? Here is what has changed. Some of the things that have changed. As the movement has evolved, people have found their own interest in the struggle, and they have to defend it. People have found a means to do their own, to carry out their own agenda, and now that personal agenda, that group agenda, is now being elevated above the common agenda, which is to get to Boya. That's the only way people start questioning credentials, which they did not question before. When the consortium gave us a leadership. Say these are the people who will negotiate with government and give us a federation or a referendum. How many times did we question their ability? Why didn't we tell them that they should go and organize an election by universal suffrage before they present to us the people who can speak on our behalf? Why didn't we say so? I'm asking every Morris member. Why didn't we pitch immediately and say, hey, consortium president Abombala, make sure you organize a referendum. I mean, first of all, organize some election for us to know whether you are qualified to be the leader of the consortium. Because that's the only way we can accept that you are a leader. There must be election by universal suffrage, either by internet or whatsoever. Then we are all over the place. We will vote you. Then when we vote you, we know that you are qualified to be our leader. Why didn't we say so? What did we consider to ignore that aspect? What did we consider? What did we consider and said, okay, go ahead. We are all behind you. What do you consider? You consider the greater good of the struggle. You consider the results that could be achieved by this group of people. You consider the possibility of restoring our independence through peaceful means. And that you saw in these people at least the courage needed to make these demands. You said that's enough. You forgot about yourself. Why have you not forgotten about yourself now? Hello? What has changed? Why have you not forgotten about it now? Why has it suddenly become very, very important that we have to examine those people, that the person who is at the head. We have to examine those people who are the government. And if some people like us, who were there since 1900, if they cannot come and queue behind us, then let the struggle fail. I hear things like that by people who want to organize a conference. Are you kidding me? It gets to a point where people will say, they have not hidden it, they have published it, it's on internet, everywhere, that there are some things we are going to do in this conference. Even before the conference, we are going to do it. And after we do it, you will see what will become of that your IG and what will become of that your president. And if this is how this struggle has to end, so be it. That is called an angry man. This is the conference. This is going to be the conference of bitter people. The conference of angry people. You know what? I read the book. I read the Bible. My Bible tells me in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 22, that never you go with angry people. Don't be in their company. I apply it everywhere. I don't go with angry people. I don't associate. I don't belong in the group of angry people. Because anger is a venom. Anger is a venom. I say these things because I have a counsel for the people of Southern Cameroon concerning this. And my time is almost up. But I will encourage you that as soon as I end, you should join SCBC so you can listen to Secretary Chris. But let me give you these things. Let me tell you this, give you this advice. Don't join any group of people. Don't marry anybody. Don't associate with anybody because you are angry. You should associate because of love. You should join because of love. Don't join because you want to express your anger against somebody. So I will be a friend to you so that the other person will be angry. No, don't join out of anger. Join out of love. Don't support out of anger. Support out of love. If you see anger in a place, flee. If you see a group of people full of anger and venom struggling to gather together, flee. That has been some of my philosophy. That has guided my life. And I want to tell you, all help is not help. There is some help which my Bible says we add sorrow. So it's unacceptable. If you say you want to help this revolution, and your help will bring us sorrow tomorrow, I will reject it today, because the God of this revolution shall bring us a better help, not the one that will add sorrow to our joy. This is a conference of disunity. Why do I say so? Because the starting point of this conference is a rejection of the IG and a rejection of the interim of the president. So this is a group of people, for crying out loud, a group of many people. Some of us have a lot of following. We belong to no group. We are now part of the government. So this is a group of many people that cuts across even many organizations. So if your starting point of gathering together is a rejection of that group, then it's a conference of disunity. And going to that conference, contributing to that conference, is a vote for disunity. That's the truth. It's a vote for disunity. And I want to tell you, power belongs to you. You are the people. This is the people's revolution, right? And let me tell you how the people will use their power. It is in your hands to analyze the struggle, analyze the intentions, analyze the things that are brought to you, and the people that, and the leaders that come before you. Look at them critically and analyze. You make the judgment because you are seated above. The power belongs to the people. And that means what? When you have power, you should be able to tell, some people the truth. You should be able to discipline some people. You should be able to straighten some people. So if power belongs to the people, let me see what we can do. It means it's the people. It means that, let me tell you, if the people are not happy with what some individuals are doing, the people should have the right to discipline them. How do people discipline them? In politics, the people discipline their leaders by their votes. The people discipline the leaders by their votes, okay? By their donations. If you are going to go astray, you are fanning disunity and disagreement and amongst the people, and it is not what I desire. I will vote against you with my wallet and with my legs. I will not attend your meetings, and I will not give you my money. That is how to correct them. That is how to straighten them. Don't give your money to somebody because his face looks handsome or beautiful. Give him because of something. Don't give him because of what he says. But look at what he is doing. If you don't agree with it, don't give him your contribution. Don't even attend his meetings, because your numbers will become an endorsement for some mistakes or some foolishness. Don't attend. If you invite me into something, I will not go there, not because it is not a nice thing to do to a friend, but if I think that my presence will be endorsing a wrong thing, I will not come. That is how to speak to you. If I think I have the power that with my absence, I will cause that mission to fail, I have to do so. Let the people who are the leaders of this revolution vote with their legs and their wallets. If somebody is stubborn and is trying to do what you think is not good for this revolution, make sure you withdraw your money from him, you withdraw participation in his events, and make sure that you boycott. That boycott, probably when their purses and their funds have run dry, when they see that there's no participation, there is no encouragement, maybe they will be able to come back to say, what are we doing wrong? That's what it means to say power belongs to the people. Don't sit there and say you are powerless. They have social media, they have money, they can gather. What are we going to do? You have something to do. Just make a statement by not going there. Make a statement by withdrawing your finances. Stop funding, stop contributing, so that until your statement is heard, until they understand you, until they do what you know is good for you. Don't donate to any group until you know that they are doing what you want to do. Your money is a messenger. It's supposed to do what you wanted to do. You are not supposed to donate it just to give or begin to attend meeting because they have invited me. I take my car, start going there. No, my presence is an endorsement. I don't endorse what I cannot go and endorse something I don't approve. So I encourage all the people of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonians. This is the end statement I'm making. Make sure that you make a statement to the people who are working for this unity, who say that they can produce unity without the common platform that we now have, which is the government. And they send an invitation to the president, and they call him like a commoner. They don't even add Mr. to this name. Mr. is not there. Comrade is not there. They just call him Sisiko Tabe Ayuk, you are invited. That's the invitation. It's a shame. It was not addressed to me. I would have published it so that you will see what it means. Then you say, okay, make sure this is the invitation. Let them not say we have not invited you. This is the conference of bitterness and anger. This is the conference of bitter people. If you are against bitterness, don't attend. This is a conference of people who want to disrupt in the hope that they will be able to establish their own, which will sit them, put them on the driver's seat because they are more deserving than others. They are the superstars of the revolution. This is the conference of disunity. Vote with a no. Vote with your money. Vote with your legs. That is my conclusion. God bless you. You can join SCBC now so you can listen to Secretary Chris. If there are some things I've said here that you may want to ask questions, maybe you can ask because he's ready to answer some questions. But if they are too personal to me, why don't you wait for my next broadcast tomorrow and you ask me the questions? Bye-bye.